you asked me about the flooding problem in Hamtramck, and I'll tell you that that problem goes back decades. Back in the 1950s, there was an opportunity that the city had to fix the problem, because we have a combined system, sewer and stormwater, and cities nowadays are required to separate their systems. Hamtramck, I believe Highland Park and Detroit were granted, the opportunity to not make that change. And as a result, we flood. Of course, our flooding has gotten worse and worse and worse over the years, and part of it is the infrastructure in Detroit. You can see, you never used to see the highways flooding like they do now. When those flood, Hamtramck basements flood. So we've had a lot more incidents of flooding now. What we'd have to do to fix it will require $50 million. So we don't have that kind of money, and no one's going to give us that kind of money. So we have to take the steps to fix the problem step by step. First, we did a study to see where can we make a smaller change here that'll alleviate part of the problem, and where can we most strategically address the problem. So that's what we've got to do a little bit this year. We do another part of it next year. Whenever we can find some more funding, we do another part of it down the road. That's the only way we're ever going to be able to fix it, because it's just too big a problem, and we have to just bite off small pieces of it and do each piece as we can find the funding. So we started the first piece. We're doing a project on the south end of Hamtramck, and it's taking a long time. I know people are frustrated about it, but one of the components of that project is building a retaining basin so that water has some place to go until the whole system, which is Detroit's system, can take the overflow. I am a big opponent to emergency management. Hamtramck has been under emergency management twice in the last 16 years. I've been under 2 different systems of emergency management, and I can tell you that emergency managers in the system that's set up by the state does not care about the city, doesn't care about the assets of the city, the people, the welfare of the city, doesn't care about what kind of changes have to be made in a city so that it's sustainable long term. The fixes are the quick fixes. You sell off some property, you lay off some people, and you balance your budget. But it doesn't take into account what are you going to do, what situation are you going to be in 10 years down the road, and how are you going to build a community that is going to attract people, because you can't cut your way out of this problem. You have to build your way out. And the only way you're going to do that is if you create a community that has the services and has the amenities and has the assets where people want to invest, where companies want to come and start businesses, where people want to live and invest in their properties. You can't do that if you cut everything that makes your community valuable. I mean, to me, this is part of the process of immigration and community building, ethnic community building. I think it's completely natural that someone who speaks another language feels most comfortable around people who speak the same language, and that's a literal language, linguistic language, and a metaphoric or a cultural language. I think it's only natural that folks are going to gravitate to people that they feel most in common with and that they can be understood around. So I don't worry if the Yemeni family isn't, having dinner with the Bangladeshi family, etc. What's important to me is that on any street in Hamtramck, you've got a mixture of people, and they manage to get along. It's not Disneyland, it's not the Epcot Center, it's real life where people have genuine conflicts with their neighbors or within their families or even within their communities. It's not like the communities are one big happy family either, the individual communities. So, but the important thing I think in Hamtramck is that We're so small, we're so compact, we live so close to each other, and we live together. In Hamtramck, you have to deal with each other. Yeah, and really, I think that's the great opportunity, it's the great challenge of Hamtramck, and the great opportunity for Hamtramck. You know, as far as the future of Hamtramck goes, I honestly have never felt so positive about Hamtramck's future in my 13 years in elected office as I do now. No, I think that this is just a very vibrant community with people who are here because they choose to be here. They choose this place. But now I see a lot of promise. I'm very encouraged by the things that are going on in Detroit, and those things trickle down to Hamtramck. So as Detroit improves, we can see an improvement here as well. I see a lot of new people moving into the city, fixing up their houses, working to build a life in Hamtramck. I think that we look better now. The future looks brighter for us now than it has, you know, at least in 16 years. I would say if you haven't been to Hamtramck, come here, spend some time, walk on our streets, shop in our shops, sit and have a cup of coffee, and just take a look at the vibrancy of the life here. This is a community where people look each other in the eye, and where you can feel a part of something, a part of a larger community. I think that's so important, and it's something that people are missing in the world today, and we've got it right here.